And he said, I see that you're still manipulating your families. And I like sunk low in my seat and I thought, wow. He's like, yeah, like maybe some of you are a little ungrateful where you're at and taking advantage of the opportunities that your family's affording you right now because they believe in you. And that really hit home. That hit home hard.
Welcome to another episode of the Powerless to Powerful Recovery Podcast. My name's Jason. I'm an alcoholic and addict. As always, our mission is to share experience, strength, hope across multiple media platforms, the story of addiction and the road to recovery. We're not affiliated with Alcoholics Anonymous or any other 12-step based organizations or groups in any way. And we're back with another episode. Ron, no matter what, my co-host is here. What's up, Ron?
Here we go.
I mean, are we having deja vu with this?
Man, come on.
I mean, this is
one of my favorite people.
Yeah. In life, maybe.
In life. Yeah, one of my favorite humans.
His third time on the show?
Let's go.
I mean, maybe for a reason. It could just be a good friend that we feel bad for, that we keep having him on. Maybe with no message or no story, but that is not the truth at all, because Redemption's Blueprint is in the house.
Ooh.
Check it out if you haven't checked it out. I shouldn't even have to say more, but in case I have to, Adam Tronnier is here, the National Sales Director of One Solution.
What?
He runs the largest organic sales homegrown team, the largest, especially currently right now. We're going to get to that 12 to 100, my brother. 12 to 100 reps in 11 months. We're going to get to that in a second. But also, Pro West, Interstate Roofing, One Solution is in the house. Whoa. There's more, Ron.
There's
you
more.
Thought we were going to stop, but there's more. He is the co-founder of From the Yard to 100K Plus curriculum. He got on the tablets. You know how long I've been trying to do that? Jay Dow is pissed. If you beat Jay Dow on the tablets, you're pissed. But Adam Tronnier is in the house. Adam.
Hey.
What's up, guys? What's up? Yeah, thank you for having me. It is my third time here. Very excited to be here. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys, man. We have experienced so much growth together and watch all of our transitions coming from the yard. We all got out within like 2-3 weeks of each other, and super blessed, super fortunate, just grateful to be a part of this. So thank you guys for having me again.
Yeah. Oh, again, I mean, Ron, when we just think about, this is a personal friend. Sure. For God's sakes. He was in my wedding. I just think about that, that cool moment, how it all came together. That day couldn't have been any more perfect. I had Ron, I had Adam, I had Josh, I had my sponsor officiating. He did a good job. What? B plus?
Oh, it was
B
so
plus?
good. It was no, it was A,
dude,
for sure.
Dude, he killed it.
Yeah.
He did. And just having that experience and having that moment. And when I saw him, we're like, dude, we got to get back on the show. Plus, my guy, I got to give a shout out to my editor, Matt.
Let's go, Matt.
The podcast next level, right? So I had to get it official, especially with Redemption's Blueprint. Talk about that for a second.
Oh, my gosh. And Matt does do a good job.
Yeah.
I saw the new revamp of the Powerless to Powerful. Very, very good job, Matt. So Redemption Blueprint, yes, it was an idea that was created about 11 o'clock at night on the phone. Was it last year? Yeah, last year sometime around this time.
I do my best work on the phone.
Yeah, man, we were talking about it, and we're just so like, I couldn't get over the fact of everybody that came from North Unit, everybody that came from other yards that were in recovery, people that were in the roofing industry or in the recovering, industry. Those are the guys that I know and that we know. And I was just thinking, man, and it's like, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250 guys coming out from where we were that are just thriving in life, excelling in life. And everyone always thinks like that's financial, and that's nothing to do with it. Like what has something to do with it is like, you're not picking up new charges, you're completing probation or parole, whatever that looks like. You have a job, you're paying taxes, you're purchasing a vehicle, you have a credit card, your family's in your life again, you're starting to earn respect back into the, public society. Like you're being everything that we're supposed to be, right? And everyone's like, why do you congratulate that? It's like, well, it's better than these guys jumping up in your garage and robbing you.
Right?
Yeah, thank you. So,
the truth is on that. Your fingerprint, we're going to talk about it, is all over this industry, especially when it comes to roofing, because that, in order to complete probation, in order to, get your kids back, in order to be a good father, in order to do all those things when you get released, comes with a financial component of it, right? And so, having this roofing platform, being now the national sales director, but it didn't start that way. I mean, from, all the different roofing companies, and I could list about 6 or 7 different ones, but I mean, all the different ones from Valor, from Mission, from Pro West, from One Solution now, Interstate Roofing, the ones now, to there's Lux. I mean, there's a lot of them, right? And shout out to all of them, dude. I got a ton of respect.
Shout out to the guys.
Yeah, a ton of respect for all of them. This isn't a shot at it because I love all the guys and I want to have all of them on the show because they're all success stories,
Sure.
But they started from the real roof god, right? And we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about that in a second, But a lot of Redemption's Blueprint, you guys watch it all the time.
All
and
the
you
time.
see that. I mean, we
Yes.
get to come and celebrate. I mean, it's such a motivator for us. What's that been like for you to see?
I mean,
let me ask you this. The question should be this, being that we've been longtime friends for 15 plus years, and then seeing the group of guys that now, that you get to see all the guys from North Union, it's everywhere. But, was this core that we get to hang out with personally, from Drew, from Kyle, just from everybody, what's that been like to see?
I mean, it's been truly motivating, right? It's motivating for me. And, Adam was one of those guys. He was that core group of people that were essential in your journey. We know what my thoughts on God wearing people clothes, and all of you helping each other with that love inside at your darkest moments. And then, I was introduced to Adam through you, obviously, right? And the amazing part is that I truly call Adam a friend. Like, we talk about some real stuff when we have the opportunities. It's usually 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, right? But yeah, like, Adam has become a very good friend of mine, a confidant. I bounce things off of him. He bounced things off of me, and he's an example. Adam, you are an example of somebody, you do not fake the funk. When there's things not going well, you confide in the people in your life and you talk about the things that aren't going well. But what I see you do is keep your feet moving. And in the almost 5 years I've known you, I've never known you to be standing still. No matter what's happening, no matter if you're all the way up here or if you're down here, if you're in the middle, you continue to move. And that common denominator is you're bringing other people with you. So I see that, and that's how I have come to see you in that light, that you're not fake, you're not a phony, you take life as it is. You've shared some pretty intimate things with me, and I'm just so grateful for that relationship. I really am.
Me too. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, sir.
I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, you see him, doing it with all the guys, now with One Solution. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I could list there's too many to list. That's the same thing we're doing at Desert, and that's the definition of a leader. How many other leaders can you create? How many other success stories can you bring with you, dude? And, and that's ultimately spirituality. But everybody also says it must be nice.
Must be nice. Oh,
must be not. Yeah. Oh, you guys have been following me.
Yeah,
man. That's a huge thing. It's very easy to look from the outside, not knowing from where all three of us came from, to understand like where it started and how it happened and the transition that took place and the spiritual development and the character development and the leadership skills and the discipline, all those things that had to take place to get to where we're at today. That's why we sit down and we talk about these things. Very blessed to be talking about it on a podcast, because fortunately, we put ourselves in a position where we're allowed to do that, and we're able to do that because it's going to impact other people's lives.
right.
Which I mean, it's just phenomenal, right? Like I wish I had that coming through. I wish I had a mentor. I wish I had someone to look up to, and I did have those people to look up to growing up. They were just the wrong people, and I was looking up to the wrong things. But yeah, it must be nice, right? Yeah. Like I purchased a boat this summer.
Must be nice.
Yeah, and guys are like, oh, it must be nice and stuff like. But the reality of it is, dude, I earned that. I did earn it, and I felt deep down, like when I bought it, I was like, felt guilty. I felt like, man, I could utilize this money for something else, or I could do something. But dude, I've put a lot of hard work in. Sometimes I like to have fun. The must be nice mentality, looking at me from the outside. Like I love people, I love things, I love to do fun things. But dude, I didn't always have it like that. I came from I came from.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because you know, and you know, just to clarify that the must be nice is just everyone that wants to judge, or you know, has maybe some the hater mentality, or you know, because one thing I love what you say, and the same thing, it's like, when you see them, what do you see? It's like, I hope when you see any of us, you see a motivating factor in your life.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this, to motivate you, not to, you know, be like, must be nice. Like, that's not the whole point of this. The whole point is to show you that, and we're going to talk about it now, from where all of us fucking smoke crack.
Come on. hey.
Like, dude, like,
it's crazy.
Bro,
it's so wild.
I have some on my mind, my heart. I got to share real quick. Just recently, when I came to your place for your birthday, you know, all the people were there, and had all the kids jumping in the pool, and the food, and the people having their sidebar conversations, you know, and I just get choked up thinking about it, because I know that you were in a point right there when things were going on the uptick for you emotionally. I'm not gonna share that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
You're putting some things back together.
Yep.
And you came and you sat down next to me, man, and you just looked around and looked at everybody. You had this huge smile on your face. There was no gloating. There was no look at me. You asked me if I needed a water. You asked my lady if she needed anything. You made sure your other guests were taken care of. And I just seen you taking it all in. And that's a big deal, when you can just smell the roses and know that you played a part in each one of those person's life, and they play a part in yours. That's the stuff we need to hold on to.
Dude. I mean, that's recovery.
In the dark moments, man.
Ron's got me crying over here now.
And
And
I
I'm
know,
like,
but that's the must be nice. That's why we
Yeah,
joke
must
about
be
it.
nice.
Because,
Yeah,
dude, it's a lot of
it's
hard
nice.
work, dude.
Yeah,
And it is nice.
yeah.
And fuck yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
it's real nice.
But every journey starts somewhere, dude. You know, so I mean, you were born in Minnesota, right? And it's not like you were born into a white picket fence, and you know, your family suffered from addiction, right?
Yep.
And so that's what it looked like. But can you share a little bit about what the family dynamic was like growing up in Minnesota? Because you basically bounced back and forth, right? You know, you came back. You know, you were in and out of foster care, came in the mix because mom and dad were trying to get it right. Can you share what just that time period was like, and then, you know, ultimately when, you know, you started using, you know, drugs and alcohol, because it was young, and just how that played a part?
Yeah. Man, yeah, I just remember we went from like apartment to apartment as a child. My father was basically non-existent. My first memory of him was I had got hit by a car while being babysat by, you know, a family friend or something. We were outside playing. I got ran over. I was in the street. And then I remember my dad coming to the hospital, and that was like the first time, you know, I remember him. So you know, Ron still got me crying over here. It's crazy. But you know, we ended up in International Falls, Minnesota, in maybe first grade or something, and my stepdad had a pretty decent job out there, and the union started fighting with the non-union workers, and they started drinking and using again, and we ended up down in Arizona, where he started a little electrical company, and within a couple years, you know, that went to shit, and my mom and stepdad never came home one night. It was around Christmas time, and they shipped myself and my older brother up to Minnesota, and they shipped my younger brother and sister, you know, we have two different dads, and they shipped them to California, and I didn't know what was going on. It was scary. You know, I was full of fear. I was in a new place. I was in family foster care. I didn't really know the people. They took very good care of us, welcomed us into their home. I was supposed to go to my dad's. He was living in an attic somewhere, you know, drinking in the garage all day long. Like, life was just confusing, right? And very shameful for a seventh grader, you know, to be, you know, with no clothes, and I'm in a rich, you know, like a rich town, a small town, and you know, I just like reclused. I was full of fear and shame and guilt, and what could I have done better, and where's my mom at, and you know, and I was the last child to be brought back. Obviously, I had some anger issues and some things that I needed to deal with within inside myself that I didn't even recognize or know what was going on, right? But man, by that point, by the time I did end up coming back to Arizona to stay, my mom had remarried again, third marriage. We were living in East Mesa.
Shout out Mesa crew.
Yeah, shout out Mesa, you know, and man, I just continued to get in trouble and was just very defiant. And everything I did, man, was a disaster. Everything I did was a disaster. And I was calling out for help and didn't even know it, right? Like I wanted attention and I needed all these things in my life, man, that just, I couldn't figure it out. I didn't have a dad, I didn't have a mentor, and I didn't have any of this stuff. And my mom was trying to do the best she could. And I remember just 15, 16, 17 years old, just drinking all the time, constantly. Never went to school, dropped out of school, had a couple jobs for like a week or two at a time. And I started like stealing and robbing, from people's houses. And, I would steal my own school clothes. Just whatever I could, right? Because I just felt so less than everybody else that was around me. Which led into, getting high, smoking meth and, going to jail, and getting kicked out of the house and like sleeping underneath the motorhome on the side of the house that didn't run and, just outcasted myself from everybody and everything. And, probably looking back on that, just opportunity after opportunity after opportunity presented themselves. I just didn't know it.
Yeah. But you hear the progression of the,
it laid it out perfectly, right?
Yeah, how quick was that progression for you? It was the same thing. It started real quick, right?
Yeah, real quick.
Right after high school, it was pretty much after high school was a wrap.
It was a wrap.
It was the quick progression as well. But the biggest thing that's attached to it, there's two biggest lessons of all is, how quick you can see that the drugs and alcohol works perfect to numb the emotions, but it works great to celebrate them too, because that's how it started.
Yeah.
It started celebrating emotions with it, right?
Yeah.
And then making it better. And then it turns into numbing it out, right? And it turns into don't think, don't feel, don't care.
What
that
becomes
we
my
always talk
solution,
about,
like
right?
you talk about.
Yeah. And then ultimately what recovery is all about, when we sit down, we put pen to paper and we look over, it's like, okay, Adam, how do you have a meaningful relationship? What does it look like to be a man? What does it look like to contribute to the lives of others? What does it look like to be a leader? If you've never seen it, how are you going to do it?
Right.
If you want to know different, you got to learn different, right? But ultimately, for guys like us, we're hard-headed, and all alcoholics and addicts, we have an extreme tolerance for pain, right? Because there was a lot of pain that is to come, and that was there from the very beginning. It's all pain and fear, right?
How much torment and pain does it have to be because this is what I pick up, for a child to be sleeping under a motorhome? Right.
Well, right.
Yeah.
You're in high school at that time, but think about this, Ron. When you move to Minnesota, you're going out there. Your whole family split up. You think you're going to your dad's, but you think your dad's sober and doing good.
Where's my mom?
But you get there, dude, and he's sleeping in an attic, on drugs, and you can't stay there, dude.
And all you want to know is where's your mom?
That's it. Yeah.
Little boy, where's my mom?
You felt that too, Ron. You've had those similar emotions, dude, and then the drug use comes so quickly with it.
Yeah. How old were you the first time you did meth, Adam?
Oh, man, I think I was 17, maybe 16 or something. The first night I ever did meth, I was with my buddy, and I took 2 hits off a pipe, and we went out, and
everything changed.
We robbed an entire neighborhood. We got into every single car we possibly could.
Yeah.
And it was wild. It was so crazy. And then the next morning, I'm like I have a needle on my forehead. I remember it. And I'm like trying to pick out a zit. It turned into like a crater, and like it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
I remember lying to my friends that were trying to come over for the next 3-4 days. And it just went all downhill.
Quickly.
Cover up after cover up.
And then quickly, just like for all of us, come the consequences. And that's what's the best part about Redemption's Blueprint, Desert Recovery Centers, all the success stories is we've experienced extreme consequences. I have multiple prison sentences. All of us have multiple prison sentences up here. That is dumb. Like, that is so dumb, and there's nothing cool about it. Like, it doesn't make you cool, and we're not glorifying it in any way, shape, or form. It's to prevent that because it's that dumb.
Horrific.
But what we did is, and the beautiful thing is, we turned it into the greatest gift of our lives, dude.
I don't suggest that path for anybody.
No, dude.
I don't.
No.
Don't catch a case and go to prison so that you can find yourself.
Yeah.
No.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, I talk to these people. They're like, they're 30 years old, and they're like, I've been clean for 10 years. And I'm like, 10 years? What, at 20? They're like, yeah, man, I went on a big bender for a couple years and then got clean. And I was like,
we're not the same.
Holy crap. Well, not, definitely don't have the same experiences, right?
Yeah.
But I look at him like,
saved yourself.
how did you do that?
Yeah.
How the heck? Like, congratulations. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's because like I'm a fighter and I don't like to give up, and then like it's a cool story, like, yeah, they had to come get me in a cop car and the helicopters and the, you know, the grenades or whatever they are, the percussion grenades coming through the front windows and all that crap.
Because that happened, but
oh yeah.
But here's the thing, because that happened because your first prison sentence, though. I mean, just like I found push-ups was a solid wood. You know what I mean? What was that? Because how old were you in 2006? Was your first prison sentence? You were 23 years old, right? About that age?
Yeah, I was coming in 22, 23 years old, getting locked up, multiple jail stints. Couldn't figure it out, couldn't get it right. The only thing that I was, you know, I had to hang my hat on was like the crimes that I were committing. That's what I thought was cool. That's what I thought was making it.
Because all your friends are incarcerated. You go to jail. You see everybody from the neighborhood.
You know, just get out of jail, do the same thing. Stolen cars, robbing houses, drugs, money. You know, which was like you think. You know, you hear these stories and like the people that you run around with, right? Like, yo, you got an ounce of dope and $500 in your pocket in the hood where people are riding 10 speeds and stuff. Like, you're a baller,
yeah,
right? To a normal person listening to that, they're like, what the hell? You're like, yeah, you just don't get it. I'm a gangster,
yeah,
right? But you know, kind of doing these things and 22, 23 years old, going to prison was like, I was scared. You know, I couldn't believe it. They were taking my life away from me. And I wanted to explain things so much, like, you don't understand, but I did this because of this. And I was just trying to feed my habit, and I'm not like a bad person. And deep down, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't a bad person, but I also knew that I had a lot of things to get together. But yeah, going to prison, still using in prison, doing some push-ups. Prison is so watered down to me, right? It's like, yeah, I go to prison, like, I'm a solid dude. Like, you pay your store debt, and like, oh yeah, you do some push-ups like you were saying, or hey, that dude works out every day. He's a good dude. Like, yo, we got PC'd up from the streets.
Yeah.
Bro, the streets kicked us out of their world. Yeah. They don't want us there anymore. They kicked us out. That's the streets is their yard.
Yeah.
We have been removed from their yard.
Yeah.
They said you are deemed no longer available to be here with us.
In society.
We don't want you in
Yeah.
society. Right. And so now we're sitting on prison claiming that we're good guys and like we did this, and our stories just, you know, they're all the same stories. I hit this lick, had this Mustang, stole a Corvette, robbed 10 houses, $50 million, fucking blah, 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 blah. I know, you know, cartel members and all this crap. Yeah, let me get a cigarette.
Yeah.
Like, get real, dude.
Picking up an indigent pack.
Yeah, picking up an indigent. So like deck shoes and stuff. And I got out from that sentence. You know, I did 5 years, 5 months on 6.5. I got out, and you know, I was 28, 29 years old, something like that. And dude, tried to do a job, got a job at Community Bridges, and was drinking, you know, and dude, a month later I was done. Like, the job was gone. I'm robbing houses. I pick up another felony. I get a girl pregnant. I pick up another felony. I'm out on 2 felony bonds. Like, and this is the total sum of like a 4-year period. I have my son. You know, he's 8, 9, 10 months old. When I go back, you know, my you know, speaking of like, my father died when I was in county jail when I was young, 19, 20, something like that.
You know what I mean? Both parents have died while you've been incarcerated.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, you know.
Yeah. Now I'm sitting in, and I'm like sitting in county jail and on a chart. Well, and here's something funny. Both sentences I went to prison for was a crime I didn't commit. Had nothing to do with. Wasn't around, wasn't with the people. I was just involved in some of the kind of crimes that were happening. So they wanted to pinpoint me. And the second one I went for, anyways, that's a different topic, but that's a true story, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, I've done probably a total of like 13 and a half, 14 years incarcerated. And 11 of those years were on crimes I didn't commit. Did I need the punishment? You bet your ass I did. Oh my God, dude. If, you know, everyone says it's like, if I would have been caught for everything, I'd be doing a life sentence. Like, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
I can promise you that. And not proud of it, but like I was and so I was so blessed to do 11 years. And you know, it's like
true story that we used to talk about.
Yeah, so crazy. And I used to be mad about that, right? Until someone pointed that out to me, and they're like, "Bro, like, what about all the other stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. Like, dude, fortunately, I'm here on something I didn't do." So, but man, I went to county jail, and you know, I went to make a phone call to my mom, and my girlfriend at the time was supposed to be going over there to pick up all my clothes and like grab any other things she could to sell it, to keep paying my attorney. And she got to the house, and like the cops were there, and my mother had shot and killed herself. And it was so devastating, right? Like I remember just like looking around in county jail, like I just lost my soul. I just lost the only person who has ever been there for me. I just lost the only person who ever believed in me, because I didn't believe in myself, and nobody else did, and rightfully so. And I've proven them, you know.
This was the start of your second prison sentence.
This was the start of my second prison sentence, and it was you know, I was just lost. I was hard. My daughter was born when I was in county jail, and I got to see her over a video visit, and I hated myself, and I hated everything that I did, and I would go in the shower and cry, take 3-4 showers and just cry, and like for a while it was like it wasn't real. Like, no way, like, could this be happening? Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna and that was really the anchor point to me getting sober later on down the road. But yeah, I went to county jail or prison and kind of doing the same stuff. And that's where I met Josh Schnitzel. Big shout out to Priority Electric.
Because that's where we meet, right? So let me explain something to you. I'll never forget this. Is the first time I meet Adam. I'm in visit, right? I'm there to see my wife. He's got his kids there, his baby mom, and a girl that likes his girlfriend. Or the girl, I would call her girl, the girl that will send messages, put money on his books, like wants to be his girl, but they all show up at the same time. So what it appears to me is like, damn, this dude's got 2 girls visiting him right now, which he did.
Crazy, dude.
At the same time, you had 2
a friend. She's always been there. Would come and see me, and you know, I grew up with their family, and you know, my kid's mom and the kids, like, I haven't heard from them forever, and all of a sudden they just show up at a visit, and she was there as well, which was very uncomfortable, and just another stupid decision, right? There goes Adam making dumb decisions again and doing stupid things, because if I was smart and I was really you know, believing in the things that I believe in today, I would have knew through natural progression of getting better and doing the right thing, everything will just work out. But I wasn't. I was doing the exact opposite thing, and now we're sitting in visitation, and it's very weird and uncomfortable, and my kids are there, and you know, just
trying to figure out how to be a father in visitation.
Yeah, man.
Because I had the same experience. You know, I watched my daughter grow up with you. Visit from 2 to 9. Watch your daughter too. The same thing. She was a baby when you know that first visit happened. Yeah. You know, could you imagine that, Ron? You go to visit Ron, and you didn't get any visits at all, dude.
No, man, I didn't. That was out of all the time I've done, and I have almost 17 years of being incarcerated. I've never had a visit. So I've never had a visit.
But shout out to your mom. That's not mom is
mom. This last time she stayed on. You know, she did. You know, she's in New York, and she did the time with me, contingent on me staying out of trouble, and that was the catalyst behind me not getting 1 ticket in 7 years. Yeah, and I'm a ticket machine. You know, they can read that shit on the computer. And that was the thing. My mom said, hey, listen, I got a deal for you.
Sure that.
She said, this was in county jail. She sent me the postcard just before they shipped me out, because my lawyer told her, hey, you got 7 years. She said, I will do this time with you. I'll send you mail. I'll send you the money for your TV. She'd never done that ever. Because she thought I was going to die in prison if I kept doing what I was doing. She said, but if you get in one infraction, 1 ticket, I don't care what it's for, see you in 2021. Call me when you get out. Let me know you're okay, but I don't want anything to do with you. So that was the beginning of me making better decisions and not getting in trouble in prison and not getting 1 ticket. And there was a lot of byproducts because of that. But the biggest byproduct was I developed a relationship with my mother that I hold very cherished in my heart. I call my mother every morning after I send my text messages to all you guys. The next call is to my mom. And I get to have a cup of coffee with her and talk about what her day looks like and what my day is going to look like. And that just came from not getting in trouble in prison.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's
awesome.
I
I wish that our story was like that, brother, where with that visitation, man, we went from there to a meeting, but we didn't. Yeah. You know, because then we link up shortly after that, and we needed more pain. See, Ron has 12 years coming up.
Coming up on 12.
Coming up on 12 years, Ron's going to have.
Yeah,
you know, 8, 7, right? Yeah. So, you know, the thing is, you know, it didn't start that way. And that's the best part about us, you know, because you and Josh, shout out to Josh. I love how you brought that up, because us three went from selling dope on the yard to using, you know, every drug imaginable with any sort of way you could possibly think of, well, you know, with as many people who wanted to do it. Right. And feeding it to as many people and thinking that it was, you know, having all the things, not having all the things.
Yep.
Right. Having all, all of us went from having gold chains, Nike shoes, Air Maxes to flip flops in the hole.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, do you remember, you know, what was that like for you, just that time period?
It was just so crazy, man.
Because you get sober before I do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll share about how it was visual proof for me. But you and Josh, just what was that? Just share that initial journey, because we don't need to talk about it. We were the dope men. So we all went from the dope men to the recovery guy and the leader of the fire crew.
Yeah. So what a crazy, yeah.
You know, looking
back,
everybody saw that, right? Like, and that's the most powerful thing. And we had such great success, you know, because we were visual proof, dude. Like, if those dudes did it, we can do it, dude. We surely can. And then we brought others with us, and that's what recovery is. Yeah. And that's what leadership is. And that's what the fire crew was. And that's what the recovery room was. We had this platform, and now it's what Redemption Blueprint is. It's what a One Solution, Pro West, Interstate Roofing, National, right? It's having, you know, all these workers. It's Desert Recovery Centers. It's all our fingerprints that we're leaving everywhere to encourage and motivate. You know, so it is nice for you. Life becomes nice for you because we had to earn it, right? And so, what was that like for you?
You got to earn it.
Yeah,
you gotta earn it.
I mean, you know,
must be nice.
No, it sucked,
with you and
man.
Josh. I mean, that first meeting. I mean, what do you?
It sucked. Like I never sugarcoat recovery. I never, you know, even today. Like I have hard days today. Like I have hard months. I have difficult, stressful, overwhelming times still today. But back then was just agonizing. There was a time when you guys had to come get me out of the tents, when you almost called the cops to come get me because I was like dying from, you know, I don't know if it was an overdose or dehydration, whatever. I'm like on the tent.
All the above.
Yeah. And, you know, Josh and I were sitting on the bunk one night and he said, dude, I want to get clean. Like, I think you should get clean. Your mother would have wanted this. And it was just so powerful to me, right? And I hated him for saying that because that's exactly what she wanted. But at the time, I was eligible and able to hang on to her recovery. And obviously it didn't work because she killed herself. And I hated that. And I was so resentful for the AA program. And I was like, I'll never do that. Like, it doesn't work. It didn't work for my dad. It didn't work for my mom. It didn't work for my stepdad. And my other stepdad, it did work for. But, you know, and I went to the first 17 meetings and I picked up 17 24-hour shifts. And I was like making it a game. But at the end of that, I realized like I was the joke.
Mm-hmm.
I was the joke. And I didn't even understand what these guys were talking about, nor did I care. I just wanted to prove to everybody that their way was wrong and my way was right. And I was so wrong. I was so damn wrong. Ran into Sergeant Collins, dude, and he you know, he had said some things to me, man, and gave me an opportunity on the fire crew when I was done with this education class. And
yeah, because that's what I think is, you know, and just like working out could be, religion, there's so many paths to recovery. AA is not the only way, because the fire crew with the leadership that was in that fire crew along with Sergeant Collins, you know, that was a path of recovery in itself, dude.
Huge.
You know, and so you coupled that with the 12-step path, the path that we were creating on that yard, the fellowship that we were creating with the fire crew. But the fire crew, dude, you guys were the hardest working fire crew in the whole entire state, for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, so, you know, share what it was like, because you were you dope sick when you did the practicum, like the major test?
Yeah.
Like, you've been sober like 48 hours, right? Like, and
it was bad, man. I remember walking into the fire crew dorm, and I remember, you know, I was walking into the fire crew dorm, and I shouldn't have been there. He should have never gave me an opportunity. He should have never gave me a chance. Luckily, we got to talking for a few minutes, man. He asked me if I was high. You know, obviously I was. I wanted to be truthful. I knew he was cool because he had ran into some of the other guys that are from my neighborhood a long time ago when he was SSU. And he probably just gave me an opportunity and thought like it might not ever work out. And when I stepped inside the fire dorm, these guys were in shape. They carried themselves well. You know, they articulated their words correctly. They were on a schedule. They were very disciplined, and I was everything but that. And there we go again, another life challenge, right? That I was either willing to accept and figure out how to work my way into that or run from. And it was probably the first time that I never ran from anything. Yeah, we went on the practical. These guys took me on a long hike. I was the last.
Explain that though. You have
it was terrible,
80
man.
pound pack on
was,
your, what is it?
Yeah,
how many pounds?
I don't know. It was like probably 50, 60 pounds
yeah.
at a time, and fully geared up. And I had never done anything, and my socks like slid down into my boot. And I thought I broke my ankle, and we got to the top of this hill, and I wasn't the last guy on top of that hill. And I started crying because it was the first time that I ever thought I finished anything in my life. And we're watering up, and Nick Laurie, who passed away from drug addiction, a few years ago, always came up to me and supported me, and he was like, hey, good job, get some water and stuff. And then the crew captain was like, hey guys, water up, we got like 7 more miles to go. And I'm crying at the time because I thought I had made it. And dude,
Drew was talking about
story,
how it stops.
Drew,
and then
it's
it goes
terrible, dude. Yeah, Drew's a dog, right?
No,
like,
Drew's
like a beast.
He just ran
He's a
up it,
savage, right? Yeah, he like complete anything. He's just, dude. He's so
nuts.
physically fit, and he's so mentally strong, and those kind of things. He do anything. And I'm not that, right? Like I'm like I got to work my way into something, and I'm so new, and I haven't worked out. And anyways, man, I ended up losing 3 toenails, and I was the last guy out, and I was very ashamed of it, but I decided to walk out of there, and I walked out of there, and that was the first time I ever completed anything in my life. And that same night, I went down to a back to basics class that was having on the yard, because Matt Langford, we love Matt Langford. Matt Langford's been a part of our recovery, and man, he was a leader in our community and still is. And he, we signed up for a back to basics class. And I went there that night, and it's Joey Landon and John Mulligan, and it changed my life forever. So coupled the fire crew and that back to basics class, and it was
what a day.
I was ready. Yeah, I was ready at that point, and I felt good.
Practicum and step 1, back to basics. 1, 2, and 3 all in a bam, 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 dude.
I was missing.
And Joey and John laid it down with that back to basics.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something that he said that really clicked home, and that I needed to pay attention to after that. Like at that point, I knew I needed to pay attention because they called me out and several other men in the room. Or they asked like, who gets visits, right? And they're like, cool, man, I got visits when I was on the yard. And everyone's like, yeah, I get visits. Like, who gets money on their books? And I'm like, well, sometimes I get money on my books. Like, awesome, man. You guys are able to enjoy a cup of coffee at least, and a cigarette and stuff. Like, yeah. Like, yeah, who gets like the secure packs? And started asking questions. Everyone's raising their hand like, yeah, I feel good about, how I'm living in prison. And obviously he stated some things like who gets phone calls, and those are external things, and the 50 cents an hour that we can work on the yard, or 35 cents or 10 cents an hour, that are going to afford us more luxury than what our wages make us. And he said, I see that you're still manipulating your families. And I like sunk low in my seat, and I thought, wow. He's like, yeah, like maybe some of you are a little ungrateful where you're at and taking advantage of the opportunities that your family's affording you right now because they believe in you. And that really hit home. And that hit home hard.
And that's the same thing. It's like it's the same thing for me. It was like, love is an action word, dude. And right now, my actions, you're going to be here. You bringing quarters. You're going to be, are you bringing the kids? You know what that's like for them, dude. I picture that in my head, dude. Having to wake up, get quarters at a laundromat, dude. Drive 2 hours, right? Stand in line with a whole bunch of people, get harassed by the cops to get in, dude.
And now you got to schedule it. Like I schedule a visit to go see Travis now. I got to go get the quarters. I got to go get him chew. I got to wake up early. I got to go down there, and that's just me. I can only imagine getting kids ready and taking time out of your day. And if you're a girl, you're like dressing up for your man or whatever that is, getting the kids ready. Like, my goodness, dude, what extreme lengths that our family and friends have gone to, and the financial burden. And you're up there and you just want to get a soda, like you're just worried about getting a Coke and like hugging the kids and stuff. Like, it all came to a realization, like, I'm not the guy who I want people to think I am, or either I want myself to think I am.
That's the same thing with your mom. That's the same thing with your mom.
Thing.
It's the same exact thing for all of us. It's that catalyst to realizing we're sick of hurting our loved ones and ourselves.
Yeah.
The pain is too great. It's too great for everyone involved.
So the fire crew, and there was a lot of progression there, man. There was a lot of leadership. Jeremy Campbell, Reed Emke. There were some other guys on the crew. JP, John Paul Hester was there. Nick Laurie, a lot of guys that I looked up to and I wanted to follow and I aspired to be like, and I just knew like, hey, I have some leadership in my life. Like I need to do what they say. No longer can I be defiant, although I was for the first year and a half, and it was very difficult for me to finish the workouts and to do the things that I needed to do.
They were dude, the ones on the yard. The fire crew, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Just getting it. Like, don't want to work out with them. I've worked out with them a few times, like,
Yeah, it was
but
crazy.
I did, yeah.
And
crazy workouts.
So we were working. It was the first time I ever held a real job more than a month.
Yeah.
And the progression through that and end up being, a lead on the crew and then a squad boss on the crew and then getting ready to come home and there was, I'd go through a year period or 2 year period where I wasn't able to see my kids or I didn't know what was going on with the kids' mom. And prison sentence
that prison sentence was life-changing for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about that all the time. There's a part in the book that I love, and we used to talk about it a lot, dude. When we find recovery, and I'll just paraphrase it, but when you find recovery, it's like striking gold. It's like, finally, I can be me. I can let go of resentments. I don't have to live in my fears every single day anymore, right? I can learn how to have healthy relationships and constantly evolve in that. I get to set a goal, learn how to achieve it, understand what action requires it. I could be disciplined. I could show up. I could hold a job. We sat in a rec room, dude, and we talked about goals, dude. I mean, and people are coming in getting, kickballs and, workout equipment, and dude, we're in there goal setting, dude, and talking about the kids and the pain and what that's like and how we can be better and what we're going to do and what type of goals and, what is it going to look like for us to get out and how are we going to do this? And, asking each, because we both had kids, we were both trying to repair relationships or continue them, dude, and we figured out how to be dads, dude, in prison, dude. Now with our kids.
What did you sponsor? Like you had to have sponsored over 60 guys on that yard.
Yeah, a lot of guys.
It was so crazy.
Yeah,
all day you were working, sponsoring. Miss Franz and I love Miss Franz.
Something is to master it.
Yep. Just getting in, and you were.
I want to
just
share something really cool because
you
you appreciate it. I probably shouldn't be sharing this, but I'm going to. But so Miss Franz's son, I had the opportunity to scholarship him, help him, and now this week I'm going to be employing him.
Plug your ears, Dr. Wynn.
With I'm going to be employing him.
That's
dude.
amazing.
How cool is that,
Rocco,
dude? Yep. How cool. So shout out to her. Just that everybody was there. It's all about outcomes, dude.
Full circle.
And the outcomes are there, dude. And we all have the outcomes because of hard work, dude, and being willing to go the extra mile and doing it consistently every single day. The same habits, that's why we're all up at 4 a.m. because we did it while we were incarcerated. We created those disciplines. We got up, we found God, we got into our meditations, we reached out, we talk about emotions, we set goals for the day. The same things we did because we all got released the same time, dude, in 2021. And that's what's the miracle about the life we get to live today. And that's why it is nice. But it wasn't always nice when we put in that work, but it could be nice for every single person. All of you could be nice. You can come work for Adam. You could be a part of One Solution. You could storm chase nationally. You could be part of his team. You can go from the yard, make 100K plus. It's not just one person. I've watched it with 40 of my friends.
Yeah.
The same guys at the meetings that we were a part of, because you and Josh were visual proof to me that recovery was possible when I came back by God to that yard.
Wow.
And everyone knows my story, and I was like, holy shit, they can do it, I can do it, and we did it together, and now we get to live life together, dude. It's so amazing. But you can be a part of it too, right? Just gotta come put the work in. So we get released, dude, and we all have this opportunity. Ron, you go into welding, and then you make the leap of faith into recovery. Now the director of compliance at Desert. We've built a multi-million-dollar company coming up on year 2. But it's more important than that. Dude, what it is a platform to help others.
Sure.
The same way we helped others while incarcerated, the same disciplines, it's the same things now. And so now looking at everything, think about that first moment when you got out, dude, because it wasn't nice. What was that like?
Josh picked me up. I got out on my son's birthday. It was his 5th birthday. And I was supposed to go see them, and it turned out I wasn't able to see them, and there's a lot of problems going on in that household, and problems with myself that I needed to still tackle, and man, I wasn't able to see my children for 3 months. Matt Langford. I mean, Joey Anderson was like refused to let me go to New Freedom, although that's a great place. But Joey, he was like, "You're going with my sister. Like you're going to go to my sister's house." And
shout out Jess.
Yeah, my
Big
gosh, she
shout out,
took
dude.
a
She's an angel,
Are you kidding me?
dude. Yeah.
She
Oh,
took
yeah.
on such a responsibility and has just. I mean, those are some big shoes to fill. Yeah, good luck on anyone. You know? So, you know, Matt Langford loaned me a car, and I had $700 to my name, and I had to shop.
I gave you clothes, dude.
I had
you
to shop
a
at the
borrowed
Goodwill,
car,
and then
dude. You had never done sales like that before, door knock before, dude.
I had to meet up with you, and you gave me all your leftover clothes before you went to prison. Like I had nothing. I had nothing. Just some people that believed in me, and that's the true story behind Must Be Nice.
Yeah.
You know, a PT Cruiser that didn't have air conditioning, and Matt Langford, you know, gracefully loaned me that car, and you know, and I went door knocking, and it was very difficult, and I was trying to pay off restitution, and I was on high risk parole, and you know, the guy coming stopping by all the time, and
because the thing is there's one very important piece to this whole story, and rest in peace, you know, and that's Ronnie Allen. We had these tablets toward the end of our sentence, and he sent us. Want to talk about fingerprint? If it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be any of
probably not.
Probably not.
Yep.
Right. Probably not. You know, and he was sending us emails like, dude, I made $100K this month, and we're like, dude, what?
Yeah.
Like, no way, bro. Right.
Crazy.
And so when we all got out, he's like, bro, come on, you need to come try and do this. And you're like, you know, and that's such a leap of faith. It's betting on yourself. It's that same thing like you had when you started at the bottom of the practicum, dope sick, 24 hours, dude.
Yeah.
Here we go, dude. Right. That's how we start. Here we go.
Here we go.
You know, right? And so here we go, dude. And I remember talking to you about sales on the phone, dude, because of the door. I've door knocked every door in this state, dude. And I know my first time, I don't care how great of a sales guy you are. My first door, I didn't even knock. I was like, nah, they're not home. Right, I was scared to death, dude, to knock on somebody's door to sell them something, dude. For the first time, right? There's fear, yeah. Talk about that.
So scared, and it's I didn't know anything.
A ladder in the PT Cruiser,
and the ladder in the PT Cruiser, and I had to get material, and I had to drop it off, and I knew nothing, and we didn't have the support that we do today. I mean, today, and this is another Must Be Nice thing. Guys are like call for money, dude, and everyone gives them money, and they support them, and the company gives them money, and we try to help provide some kind of housing. And dude, we go through, I don't want them to go through what I went through. I don't want them to have to live like that. And I had it hard, and it was tough. And I was going to quit 5, 6, 7 times. And Pierce Baker called me. He's the owner of Craft Built now. We were working together at a company.
Yeah, shout out to Pierce.
Big Pierce. Yeah, beautiful family, very successful kid. And, you know, I was the best man at his wedding, just loved the guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
And, you know, he said, let's just hold on there until October. In September, I ended up getting a couple big paychecks. And I was like, man, I'm glad I did held on there, but I was getting ready to go work with Joey. And, you know, I'm so fortunate and thankful. But once the money started rolling in, I want to do exactly what the AA program taught me, is like, give it back. Like, give it back.
Exactly
like, let's find a pathway. Yeah. So,
so let's talk about it, because you went from first, because you know you started out as a door knocker, dude, in a ladder in your PT Cruiser, dude.
Yeah.
Struggling to make ends meet, trying to get your kids back, going to meetings.
I dug ditches on Thursdays and Fridays to get gas money.
Yep, just so you can go door knock, dude. And you had to do that. Shout out to Maui and you know, and
put me on.
Pierre.
They put me to work.
Yeah, he put you to work, dude. Shout out to him. He's actually going to be on the show, Rando Commando podcast. Shout out to him.
Yeah,
you know, but you know, and you started your evolution. You know, so you went from project manager to ultimately ending as a regional sales admission, right?
Yep.
And then you know what? You decided to take another leap of faith, and you left. And today's a big day for roofing, dude. Today's a big day for Pro West, for Interstate Roofing, for One Solution, because we got the boss on coming on. One of the bosses, big bosses coming on next. You know, and he's gonna be here anytime, and it's gonna be great to have him on. He's another success story, and what they want to do is give it back, bro.
Sure.
Again, that's the most important part, you know. And so you go from 12. So when you take this leap of faith, why don't you just talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
What's it like to make that jump, make that transition, and now
we had kind of hit a ceiling where we were at. Visions weren't really aligning, and it was time to move on. And I got hooked up with Bob Schober. and we had a couple visits with Bob, and through back and forth conversation for about 3 months trying to figure some stuff out, and we came up with some stuff, man, and ended up going over to Pro West. I think we went over there with 12 guys or something in the beginning. We were sanctioned to do like 12 to 15 million that year if we could really get it rocking and rolling. We ended up doing 30. That was last year. We went from those original 12 guys to over 100 guys in 11 months. And we just built a platform, and I love saying that stuff because everyone's like, yeah, I'm roof god and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like that. Like I really did it. Mm-hmm. And the guys that I surround myself really did it. And we have like the proof of doing it. Yeah, it's about outcomes. And I'm very proud of the men that I've been able to surround myself with and bring on into the industry. And dude, some of them aren't with me anymore. Some of them are. And every one of them, dude, I'm super grateful and thankful to have during that journey and the lessons that we've learned together and the growth that we've all experienced together. But and this year just turned into something better. We're gonna end the year at 36 million in sales, all from guys that came from prison. We got the Redemption Blueprint thing going on. We started a curriculum.
And what's behind that? Can you just share about, because go to YouTube, subscribe to their channel. You got to see what they're doing because it is about outcomes, right? And you don't get to have those type of trips and to do all those sorts of things and ride around in Rolls Royces and drive $100,000 sand rails and go to the dunes and everybody's, listen, that doesn't happen without putting in hard work every single day. But go to Redemption's Blueprint. But that's what it's all about. You're on YouTube. The prison tablets. It's on YouTube.
Yeah. We went. So it's just been so wild. The national sales director position was offered to me this year. I decided to take it. We started a curriculum inside prison. It's on the Adovo app. It's called From the Yard to 100K Plus. It pre-trains guys in sales and development, leadership and character development, and gives them some door knocking skills. And they love Floyd and Drew and Matthew Tangy. They ask for these guys to come in on Zoom meetings and stuff, and they want to teach them their door knocking skills that they learn on the platform. And it's been so wild. I've been in like 12, 13 different states a few different times this year.
Yeah, we're talking about Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas, Texas, Atlanta, Florida, New Mexico, California, Utah. So many more, and we're talking multiple times because you're real storm chasers. You have the ability to make, to take care exponentially, because that's what it's all about, dude. You need money to progress in life. You do. I don't care what anybody says. It makes it a hell of a lot easier, and it is really nice.
Yep.
Right? But it takes a hell of a lot of hard work, dedication, determination, and sobriety if you're someone like us.
Yeah, you got to stay sober. You can't make those things happen.
There's that part.
Yeah, don't forget about that, right? But
Redemption Blueprint is just huge, man. It's just a platform for people to be able to get onto. And I wish we had more time to put into it, but the time that we do get to put into it, we go highlight people's success stories coming from nothing to something and being a part of. The bigger thing about it is it's like I'm a part of something. I'm a part of a movement. I'm a part of an organization. I'm a part of a post-prison movement. I'm a part of sobriety. I'm a part of hard work. I'm a part of culture. I'm a part of something. And, it's going to continue on being that and build even bigger and stronger. And guys have something to look up to. And at the very end of it, if we, whatever comes out of it, you'll always have that YouTube platform to go look back and show your kids or show your nieces and nephews, or you're old and you remember that time in your life and maybe you have a video. And I wish I could do more. And maybe one day I'll be able to do more and be able to get everybody's story that I want. But in the meantime, man, it's just awesome. And we try to film a lot of things that we do to show people like we're really doing it. We're really out here. We're really doing it. We're really putting the work in. We're really hiring the people. We're really selling the jobs. We're really building the culture. We really have the families. Most guys that are directly around in my core group and stuff have purchased homes, having kids, getting married. It's just wonderful. It's inspiring to watch, man. I can't believe that it's happening sometimes. And we took that inside the prison system, and One Solutions saw our vision and said, we're willing to fund that for you guys. Let's make this happen for these guys inside prisons because we want to give back too. So One Solution, Sean Ricks, the CEO, Billy Hackinson,
Hustle 2.0.
Hustle 2.0. We met up with John Jackson and Kat, the developers of Hustle 2.0. I went and stayed out their house in Utah. We came up with some curriculum. They have just been absolutely phenomenal working with us. And so just constant evolution, constant hard work. You know, people are like, oh man, you got like a YouTube channel and oh, you got this Adovo app. That's pretty cool in prison. Like, and I'm over there like dragging my feet, like, yeah, man, it took forever to build. Like, I'm so tired. I'm wore out. But it is insane. And the guys, you know, you got Drew, I think Matthew Tangy, maybe Floyd, Judson. We have Reed Emke. All these guys are out of state. Nicholas Panico. They're building teams out of state.
We're some sales guys, right? Like you're talking to some. I know back of your mind. I mean, just back of your mind, dude. We always know, dude, that we're sales guys and what we see. I know you got to think that at times. Like, damn.
Well, let me fill you in on something, boss. Yeah. You know, and you know, there was a point when I didn't know what I was going to do. Right?
Yeah.
When that last project, it took my soul.
Yeah.
I was in serious talks with Adam. I knew that
if there's ever a sales job I would ever do in my life,
I was going to go from that. The call I made to you that morning, and I said I need a job, and you went, brother.
Yeah.
I don't have any jobs. My next call was going to be to Adam, right? Because I have a history with roofing. I did roofing for 20 years, not to sell. He sells under, but I was a roofing guy. You know, I did the foam. You and I have had extensive conversations about that. But I was this close.
Oh yeah, I know.
If you wouldn't have said I have that BHT job for you, and for some reason he goes $22 an hour, and I said I'll take it. I went from a director of a huge housing program to being a BHT. I don't know. God just made me say, yeah, I'll take the job. You were getting the next call that morning, and I was going to ask you for a job and an opportunity, you know?
Just in case anybody's wondering, and Jason, plug your ears, Ron, I'm still hiring.
Yeah. There was a time when you guys brought me down there to the office. We're talking with buy you a truck. You know, here's $60K.
You still had your Lexus.
Because I had a Lexus, I didn't have a car, and I was making $1,650 at the time.
Yeah,
and I said no.
Yeah, we really wanted you to be a part of the organization, and still do if it's ever in your best interest, right? Like I understand it's powerful, man. But the things that you're doing today is like that. It is definitely your path, and we're grateful that you have that path, because it's just not all about roofing. It's a lot about recovery, and you're helping guys out and getting them scholarships, and you've done multiple different organizations, and now you have your own, you know, along with Ty and Ron and some other guys involved in it and stuff, and you guys are like doing super big, huge. They're just huge things, dude. And we see you guys. So big shout out to Desert Recovery Centers and all the stuff that you guys do in the community and for people. So that's a pretty awesome program, and you should be proud of yourselves, because I'm proud of you.
Yeah, well, thank you, dude. Yeah, I mean, it is nice for all of us, and we want it to be nice for everyone. Whether you're suffering from mental health, substance abuse, whether you're suffering from financial struggles, you need a path, you need a community, because that's really what it's all about, dude. And that's how you were able to create, because you've created a community and you've created a path of a foundational support system for men getting out of prison, and women too. Right? And you've given that path, and you're showing them the way, right? It's the same thing. If you want what they have, you got to do what they did. And if you do what they did every single day and you continuously do it, it'll become who you are, right? And you'll rewire your brain, dude. And you have something to be proud of. Your head gets a little bit higher, dude. And your finances get better. And you're not at Peter Piper having a visit with a CPS officer anymore, you know? Because talk about the family for a second, man. I mean, coaching sports. I see your son driving the boat. He's got his quad, sand rails, doing gainers and backflips. He's athletic, dude. Shout out to Zane, right? Oh, the kids, man, dude. What's that like, Diane? I mean,
Jessica has them, you know, just packed with sporting events, and you know, they had a rough upbringing, and it wasn't always the best for them. No. And there's been a lot of, you know, their school works with them a ton, and I'm just so damn proud of them and the community coming together to help support their needs. And they're just developing and blossoming into like the two most beautiful children in the world. And every parent says that, right? I'm just proud to be able to say that about mine. And yeah, they get to live a very, very good life today. And I'm thankful and fortunate and grateful for that. And, you know, one thing I don't want to get like twisted, right? It's the people that we surround ourselves with that make this stuff happen, right? On my own, I could only do so much. But when I surround myself with good people, dedicated people, guys that see the vision, guys that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, when I surround myself in that area, whether it's with Desert Recovery Center, or One Solutions, or National Sales Director, or Redemption Blueprint, or Adovo app, From the Yard to 100K plus, or whatever that looks like, right? When you're on a pathway and you have a good core group of people that are all striving for the same things and see the same vision, like there's nothing that we can't accomplish. And that's like, it's huge, right? So it's not like the Adam Tronnier show. It's like, hey, the team of guys that I surround myself with develop me and I develop them and we develop each other on such a large scale, dude, anything can be accomplished.
Sure.
It's bar none, right? And then to have the backing by the company that we work for right now is just crazy. Like Bob Schober has always supported it.
And he's going to be on the show next.
Yeah,
dude, this is going to be fun today. He's
always supported it, man. There's some guys.
What are you looking for? People want to be a part of your team because that's what this is all about, dude. Like sharing your success
Drew
story.
Drew and I were on the phone last night and we were talking about like 35 million is a pretty cool accomplishment and we achieve these things and it takes the guys, right? And there's so many guys that I want to give a shout out to. And there's so many, all the guys that work with me, all the guys that have worked with me, the people of lives I've been able to touch during their paths and stuff, like just massive shout out to these guys. But we were talking last night and it says, how did we hit 35 million, right? It's not like telling people what to do. It's not driving sales. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. Like, how we make individuals feel and them knowing that they're comfortable and that they're going to be well taken care of and that we're going to cater to their needs as the salesman and as the project managers. And there's always going to be a phone call answered and there's not, we're always going to be on the field or out on the road or finding solutions for them is what develops that 35 million. There's not a company in Arizona that I know of, that's in the door knocking industry that will do 35 million. Let alone the team, right? So I couldn't be more proud of the team.
Absolutely.
I couldn't be more proud of the guys. I couldn't be more proud of the effort and the energy and the dedication that they put in to change their own lives, which in returns, it's just a trickle-down effect. So they have absolutely crushed it. And we are looking for those guys. I don't want guys that come out and like think, my shit don't stink or I'm not looking for guys like that. I don't care if you sell 3 million. If you have a bad attitude, I don't want you. Yeah. I don't care if you sell 2, 5, 10. You could sell 15 million. If you're a cancer, I don't want you. I want the guys that have empathy. I want the guys that reach inside them souls and understand where other people are coming from. I want the guys that are going to build other men and themselves. Those are the kind of guys I'm looking for. Those are the kind of guys I want to be a part of the team. Those are the kind of guys I want to surround myself with, right? I don't, so when I'm looking for things, I'm looking for people that want to be a part of a team. I'm looking for people that want to pitch in and play their part and play their role. And I'm looking for people that go above and beyond. And that just doesn't happen. I don't just speak on that in the workforce development. I don't speak on that as just One Solutions or Interstate or Pro West. I speak on that as a person, as a father, as a friend, as a human. What are you doing for your community? Go. What are you doing for the people around you? What are you doing for your family? What are you doing for the next man? I want to surround myself with people like that. That's the team I want to be a part of. That's the team I'm on. That's the team we've created. So,
and also shout out to SVG Coaching, right?
SVG Coaching, Raymond Little, what an amazing guy. Him and Josie own it. And Josie Parks, had a new vision for Win the Storm.
So if you're inspired by Adam, you have the ability to be coached by him. He's on panel speaking. I mean, we're talking about going from living in a tent behind razor wire, cast outs from society, all of us, to the amazing lives we have to live. Because, what also comes with that is we have the ability, the things you use, because I've seen pictures when your addiction with the same things you have in your garage now, not as many of them, but you had the same things, but they were all stolen.
Yep.
Right? But
everything
now
was stolen.
You have the ability to buy everything you've ever wanted, dude, and share it with your family and others. And that's what this is about. If you want to have a garage full of quads and dirt bikes and sand rails and side-by-sides and real sand rail. Dude, I've seen some videos, dude. I got scared. I wasn't even in it, dude. He's got me buying Can-Ams. I got a Can-Am. I'm buying them. Redemption Blueprint inspires me, dude. I bought a Can-Am.
Yeah.
We're wrong. We're out riding
dude,
on
we were going 35 miles an hour and we thought we were hot shit.
Yeah, he's going 130, dude. Wheelie.
Doing a little speed.
Yeah.
It's
man,
so
dude,
fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is life about? It's great to have the money and stuff, but if we don't do stuff with it,
4 times a year, you go.
If I want to be able to experience those things that when I was a kid, I would rob and steal for that stuff to try to get the experience. Today, I work my ass off and I I just grind so I can have those experiences and I can share them with my friends and my family and my children and make memories and stuff. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that's like wants to be 70-year-old and a multimillionaire. Like I probably won't even make it. Nobody's in my family like makes it to 70 as men, right? And so I go, and guys go, I want to work my whole life, dude, to put my children in a great spot. And I'm like, your children are going to be spoiled motherfuckers. Your children are going to be entitled. I don't want to do that. Will I put them in a great spot? Probably. Maybe give them a little something, but I want them to enjoy the life. I want to enjoy my life with them. I don't need to own 1 million houses. I don't need to do all this stuff. And when I chase money, it always goes away. When I chase happiness and I chase joy and I chase moments and I chase things like that are going to bring a lifetime of fulfillment.
And that's what makes you a sales
guy.
Best
comes.
Sales guy.
It always comes, man. And
yes.
So I love treating myself and the family and the people around me to great times, great memories, great trips. Dude, because I'll tell you this, 2 million in my bank, 3, 4, 5, like that, it's never going to be enough. There's always, I know guys, I got 70. I know dudes that have 150, right? And they're chasing after the guy that has 200, and the guy that has 200 is chasing after the guy that's got 500. And I want to chase after experiences and memories, and a lot of those are going to be on the boat, in the sandrail, in the side-by-side, on the quads, you know, traveling the country, doing some things like that when we get an opportunity for getting my kids in sports. You know, helping develop curriculum for inside the prison, maybe doing some SVG coaching, you know, constantly jumping up on roofs with the guys. I just want to go and have a life full of fulfillment, because a lot of the times, you know, most of the times in my life, man, for 35 years, it was a life of hell and misery and suffering that I inflicted upon myself. And not to say that I regret a lot of the past, but sometimes I wish that I didn't have to have that hardship and that road. And now that God's brought me out of that, I need to share that with others.
That's good.
I need to share that with others, because if I don't, he'll take it from me. And I know that. So guys always ask me, like, why do you give so much? Why don't you do this? You know, instead of taking guys on a trip, you could have put a down payment on another house or another, like, God doesn't have, I'm not here on this earth to buy houses. I just ain't. I'm here on this earth, dude, to provide for other people. And I'm a good steward of God's, you know, blessings today.
You are.
And so I want to continue doing that. I want to continue being that person.
Yeah. So if you want to be
let's go,
a recipient of the blessings, dude, because I know we all are, right? But if you want to be a part of the crew and One Solution, and nationally, you know, we are in 30 plus countries, right? So it doesn't matter, because you're going to be worldwide soon. But nationally, any of our listeners, you're pretty much in every single state. You got a sales team, right? You guys are all over the place. If you want to be a part of the team, reach out to Redemption's Blueprint. Reach out to Adam Tronnier on Instagram, Facebook. You can find him anywhere. He's all over the place. You see all the guys everywhere. The Drew Nyerts, the Kyle Cummings, you know, the Matt Tangies, you know, all the guys, you know, the Eric. There's so many of them.
Tons of them.
You know, I don't want to. There's so many I could list. I don't want to take the rest of the show listing guys.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a part of the team and be a part of Redemption's Blueprint, please reach out to Adam. But if you're somebody who's suffering from mental health or substance abuse, and you're looking to need help, please reach out to us. Adam, dude, it's been an absolute 100% pleasure to have you on the show for the third time. I know there'll be a fourth and a fifth.
Yeah.
Because the accomplishments, the story, when we first started, I didn't even know where to start this time, because so much has came through. We could have just highlighted everything, but I wanted first-time listeners to know, when we talk about Must Be Nice, dude, it wasn't always nice, and it takes hard work, and it takes dedication. The same hard work that we all put in to have the outcomes that are grand that we all have, because we don't give up, and it's 7 days a week, and it's 24/7. We get to have the life that we get to have today, dude. And so it's just been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. You know, my brother, I love you. You know, so it's been fun. As always, at least get to spend some time with you as well. But ultimately, Ron, if you're someone that suffers from mental health or substance abuse and you need help, that's what this is about. Messages of hope. We want to help you. That's what Desert Recovery Centers is for. Reach out. Where can they find us?
DesertRecoveryCenters.com, Instagram, Desert Recovery Centers, obviously Powerless to Powerful on all the platforms. Ronnie, no matter what, on TikTok. You can message Jason directly on Facebook, Instagram, myself too, Jason and Sarah Ronalesi. I do want to say this, and I know you probably thought about it, but your message is just so powerful and genuine. We need to get Adam out and speak to the guys and the girls at the ladies at Desert. I just think your message just resonates with everybody. So real and authentic. Speaking of that, I got to say this. Lanny will kill me. Lanny just wanted me to say how amazing you and Jessica are, and she looks up to the two of you. And, you know, you kind of dictate some of my relationship. She sees what you guys do and some of the things you go through, and she's like, well, Adam and Jessica, we're going to Adam and Jessica's. I don't want to hear no shit. Yeah. So she just absolutely adores you guys.
We love you guys, man.
You know, and your message, bro, just
outcomes.
Do that.
Yeah.
Do that. What you just did, that's you. That's who you are, man. You're so genuine, Adam, and I'm just grateful to call you a friend, and I'm grateful that Jason was the connector and all that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. You guys have been just fantastic, dude. Big catalyst in my life and stuff. And I'm very fortunate to have you guys. And I thank you so much. And if you guys are trying to get in the roofing industry and you're watching in a different state or you're trying to figure some things out, we are Danny Boy Builders. We are Interstate Roofing. We are Pro West Roofing. We are 5 Stars Roofing. We are One Solutions. We're in 22 different states. We have a platform called Redemption Blueprint on YouTube that highlights a lot of the success that we have in the industry. In prisons, we are on the Adovo app. It's called From the Yard to 100K Plus. You type that in on the Adovo app.
A lot of editing, Matt.
We have, I mean, I'm partnered up with SVG and Raymond Wendell Little, man. Big shout out to Ray. For SVG coaching. If you guys are a struggling platform in the roofing industry, we come down, we'll spend about 3 days with you. We'll revamp your whole structure. We'll get you guys going on the right track. So give a shout out and give a call to us, man. We have so many things going on right now. Very, very blessed. But first and foremost, man, I wake up with a prayer and I go to sleep with a prayer, and I'm going to continue to do that. So thank you guys so much.
All right. We love you, bro. And if new episodes of the show dropping on every single week, so please tune into the show. We appreciate everybody, and new episodes dropping always. Look out for the next guest. Bob's on his way, dude. It's all about success today, dude. And that's what inspires me. So again, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you guys.